Pearland, Texas 77584. The number is 713-665-9995. Open Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 3 p.m., and they're closed on Saturday and Sunday.
This was a proud sponsor of KNLY 91.1 FM. We are broadcasting live from the Woodlands, Texas to the world. You're listening to the only multimedia FM station in Houston, Texas. Your Fusion Radio. Top 40s, dance, Latin, country, pop, rock and roll. All in one station. Mixing genres and generations. You're listening to KNLY New Waverly, Texas. 91.1 FM, The Boss.
The program presented or submitted by members of our community and are a proud sponsor of KNLY 91.1 FM. The views expressed do not necessarily reflect those of KNLY 91.1 FM and its affiliates.
Good morning, and God bless you. We're having a wonderful day here at KNLY 91.1, The Boss. Have some wonderful people in the studio with me on today, outside of our tech, Mr. Ivan, that makes things pop. I have Miss Leslie Robinette with me. Robinette, correct?
Yes,
correct.
That's correct.
With the American Diabetes Association. We're getting ready to bring you quite a bit of information to just help you understand what's happening. So tell them about not only who you are, but tell them about your overall business, and not just the business. I think it's just a whole movement for you all.
Yes.
So tell them.
Yes. Well, first off, thank you so much, Orlando, for having me
You're more than welcome
today. And when I saw you last time, it was July 4th, and you were doing the 5K, 10K run.
Yes.
So you were sweating it up outside.
Putting in work.
But yeah, so I'm Leslie Robinette. I'm the Director of Development at the American Diabetes Association, and our mission at the ADA is to prevent and cure diabetes and to improve the lives of all people living with diabetes. So currently we are doing several different events and programs at the American Diabetes Association to help not only educate people about the awareness of diabetes, but also to advocate for diabetes and also raise funds for diabetes research.
You know, one of the things that when we talk about generational things, that is one of the things that we find when we go to the doctor. They want to know the history, family members, and things of that nature. Is diabetes always associated to, generational as far as family goes, or is it something that, my family never had it and then here I am with it? Is that some of the things that you've experienced or encountered as well?
Yes, it can be a little bit of both. So you probably heard of type 1 or type 2 diabetes. Now, with type 2 diabetes, it's the more common of the two. And about 90% of people who have diabetes have type 2. And type 2 diabetes has a lot of different risk factors, including ethnicity or your age or if it runs in your family. So we have a risk test that you can take online, diabetes.org/risk test, and it has several questions on there that can let you know about what your risk is for diabetes, and one of them is, do you have diabetes in your family, in your immediate family? So it can be, but with type 2 diabetes, it is the more severe of the two, but they are insulin dependent, and sometimes it just happens, or they're just born with it. You might have heard that it is called juvenile diabetes, or has been referred to as juvenile diabetes, but nowadays you even have adults who are getting type 1 diabetes.
Wow. What's the difference? I know you say type 2 is the severe case. How does someone recognize, or what are some of the signs, key signs, that says, I need to get this checked?
Yeah, so there's several different symptoms of diabetes. Now, for someone with type 1 diabetes, the symptoms are quite dramatic, and it happens within just a week or two because their pancreas is no longer producing a hormone called insulin. That insulin is necessary in your body to bring energy, to eat up all the glucose that is coming from the food that you're eating and give your body energy. So now that your body's no longer producing that insulin anymore, you're insulin dependent. So what's happening is basically, and I'm forgetting what the question was again now, but so with the difference of the symptoms of what's happening is basically your body's becoming very thirsty. You're losing a lot of weight. The dramatic weight loss is one of them. Also, you're losing a lot of energy, and that's because your body doesn't have that energy anymore. That insulin is not being produced. It's not giving your body energy. So I've met a lot of children who had type 1 diabetes, and when they first got it and they didn't know they had it, they were losing a lot of weight, thirsty all the time, going to the restroom all the time. So those are all symptoms. Now for type 2 diabetes, it's a lot of those, but it happens more gradually. And also you have numbness and tingling in your hands and feet. You can be irritable. And then there's the several complications that happen from type 2 diabetes, which is heart failure, heart disease, or kidney failure. Again, numbness and tingling in your hands and feet. We've also known people who have been volunteers with the ADA that have even had their limbs amputated due to diabetes. So It can become that severe.
Okay, so I'm a firm believer not only in medicine serving its purpose. I also believe in prayer and God being the ultimate healer. But if people who may be having some of the symptoms that you made mention of, is there a way to change it without becoming codependent on medicine?
So with type 2 diabetes, you can actually reduce the risk or prevent the risk of getting type 2 diabetes. And the two primary things are exercise and diet. And that's why a huge part of what we do in the community with things like our Tour de Cure event is promoting that physical activity and fitness. So exercise and diet, and I've known many people with type 2 diabetes that have been able to manage their diabetes through just those two things.
Just changing diet and exercising. When we talk about just change altogether, I think people become asphyxiated with change. It's like,
yes.
I got to give up, because I'm sitting here listening and thinking about myself in general and what I would have to change and give up. And I think a lot of people do consider what I have to give up for the change, but am I willing to do this as a sacrifice for the overall benefit of my health? What are some of the experiences that you have had or had witnessed, because I know you all have outlets for people to come, that was drastic and then it became a success story?
Well, we've had a lot of people. So in our Tour de Cure event, we have Living Red participants, and those are participants who are living with diabetes. So we've met from people with type 1, children with type 1, and also adults with type 2 and vice versa. But we've had a lot of adults who were newly diagnosed with type 2 diabetes, and they didn't have a support group. And what's wonderful about this Living Red group is that they are pretty much like a family, and they're there to support other people who are living with diabetes. And so we have our current chair of the Tour de Cure, he's living with type 1 diabetes, and anytime somebody comes to us and says that they were newly diagnosed or they don't know, they need some advice or input on things, he's always there to help provide that input, and we've seen them come into and volunteer for the ADA and be more involved and become part of the committee, and it has also helped with their overall health with participating in the cycling or the running or the walk event, because that helps with controlling their blood sugar level.
You have some things that I think that our listeners need to know about. You have some wonderful dates, events that's coming up, not just in this coming month, but you have one, I believe, in September.
Yes.
So I'm interested to hear how this conversation is about to go about the one, and I definitely want you to tell them all the things that's going to come along with the first event, and then you have one at the college, like at
Yes,
Prairie
so we
View.
have the Kiss a Pig event on August 15th.
Tell them again.
Kiss a Pig
Kiss a
rally
Pig.
on
You're kissing a
August
pig.
15th, and it's at Armadillo Palace. And that's this is our first event for it. We're really excited about it. we have several community leaders that are involved, and they are representing different corporate teams, different businesses, such as Commissioner Rodney Ellis is representing on there. We have somebody from CVS Pharmacy. We have somebody from Service Corporation International, which is a huge company that participates with us, and we even have a social media influencer. So we have an array of community leaders that are involved, and so basically it's a competition to raise money for diabetes research, and the top winners of each category that we have individual, small, and large. They will have to kiss the pig live at the Kiss a Pig rally, and it's because, you know why, Orlando?
I want to know. I really want to know why we kissing pigs.
So the reason why we kiss a pig is because the pig was the first source of insulin for diabetes.
Wow.
Yeah, so
Wow.
It's all about honoring the pig on that day, but not only that, just bringing the community together to bring awareness to diabetes. So we actually just finished up our 2019 Camp Rainbow, which is a camp for children with type 1 diabetes. And it was a wonderful camp. We had over 220 children that attended this camp, and they all are dependent on insulin. They're living with, insulin pumps and constantly having to check their blood sugar level. So not only are we trying to bring awareness to that, but also raising money for diabetes research to eventually find a cure for and advancements for diabetes.
Let me back up for a moment, and we're still going to talk about the other event that you have coming as well. But you made mention of children, and when I think about kids, you said people are born with it. And some of the misconceptions that's out here is obesity, children dealing with what I call adult symptoms or adult diseases and things of that nature as children. And they may still be physically fit and healthy, but this is, how does someone come into, and I know you mentioned they're not getting it, how does someone say, I have this is what I'm going to need, but I'm eating healthy, I'm exercising, but yet and still this is what I'm having to deal with? How do you encourage someone from that platform? Because there are people that are listening and that's watching, and that's probably saying, I do all those things, yet and still this is my daily routine.
Mm-hmm. Well, one is just using ADA as a resource. We have lots of different resources on our website, but also, we have a diabetes food hub, which is a great new online platform that we have that has lots of healthy recipes, and all of these recipes are approved by the ADA. So using that resource and encouraging your whole family, getting your whole family involved, getting your friends and family involved, and doing it together. You're not alone. Anybody living with diabetes, you are not alone. You have your family, you have your friends, and the ADA to support you. And please, give ADA a call if you have any questions. We have our call center, 1-800-DIABETES, for any questions that people have. We have several people always calling in asking on any questions related to diabetes.
Well, you all are getting it straight from someone who is not knowledgeable, but in a position to help or steer you in the right direction. But there's another event that you have coming up that's going to be at one of the colleges. Am I correct?
Yes, that's correct. So that's our Tour de Cure event, which is at Prairie View A&M University. This is actually our 10-year anniversary for this event. We started it back in 2009, and so now it is the 2019 Tour de Cure, Houston Tour de Cure. And it's a wonderful event with a ride, and we have 4 different cycling routes. Do you cycle?
I believe I'll end up doing it that day.
Okay, yeah, great. So we have all the way from a 10-mile family ride to a 30, 63, and 100-mile ride.
Wow.
So people of all fitness levels can participate in this. It's a wonderful family-friendly event. And we have a 5K run, walk, and then new this year is a 10K run. And this 10K run is actually a Chevron Houston Marathon qualifier. So anybody who wants to qualify for a corral in the 2020 Chevron Marathon can participate in ours and do so there. And so anybody who participates in the 10K also gets a 10K finisher shirt, and everybody who participates gets a nice 10-year anniversary finisher medal. But not only that, it's for a wonderful cause. We have lots of corporate teams, lots of family friend teams, but overall it's just a wonderful, fun, enjoyable event to bring out your whole family. And afterwards we have complimentary lunch from Texas Beef in Goya, and they have vendors, entertainment, and we want to invite the whole community to come out and be part of this and to support the cause of diabetes.
Listen, you all got all of the information, but I encourage you to follow our not only KNLY 91.1 The Boss, our actual site. You'll see all this information, but also have a fan page. All that information that she's sharing is going to be out here. I want you to connect with her if you have questions, if you're needing some assistance. All that you're needing, she's about to give you Facebook, Instagram, phone numbers. Tell them what they need to do so they can follow you.
Yes, so we have our Facebook on social media, American Diabetes Association Houston, also Tour de Cure Houston, and then we have for the websites for the Kiss a Pig rally, if you'd like to come and join on the day of, it's diabetes.org/CSTX Kiss a Pig, and then for the Tour de Cure event, it's the same thing, diabetes.org/Houston Tour de Cure. So I encourage you to come out, join us, support the ADA in whatever way you can. We would love to see you out there.
Once again, this is my guest, Miss Leslie Robinette. I want to make sure I said correctly, with the ADA, American Diabetes Association. I'm Orlando Daniels. This is KNLY 91.1 The Boss and today's entrepreneur. See you soon. Be blessed.